From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Cabernet. It's time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you're feeling the same. We are getting closer and closer to Christmas, and then we'll be at New Year's, and you know how it goes. And then we have a whole brand new year, 2024. It's time to, pretty much have your clean slate and start your new, if you like. But, finish the year strong. I know a lot of people are now starting to take their time off and everything like that. I think this might be one of our last episodes of the week because it's getting real busy this week for me. And, I'm trying to find enough time to go shopping and still be a regular human being. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and jump into it. Ja Morant last night, buzzer beater. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ja Morant makes return and delivers one of the big moments of the season with buzzer beater. The guy had 34 points last night. He came back with a vengeance last night and made sure his team went ahead and finished the job last night, got themselves a huge win on the road against the New Orleans Pelicans, who have pretty much been a pretty good team this season. But, last night, the 7-19 Grizzlies come in there and they're just, ready to start anew because you know what? They were the 2 seed in the NBA last year. And, at the end of the day, they still think there's some unfinished business going on over here. So Ja Morant coming back was huge because you know what? Ja Morant is the draw in the NBA right now. Okay. He's in a market that doesn't conduce him to being the draw. But if he was in New York, Chicago, Boston, Miami, LA, even with the Golden State Warriors, possibly even with the Phoenix Suns right now, it would be a big deal when Ja Morant comes to town. I think last night pretty much solidified that because Ja Morant, regardless of anything, is a major player in the NBA, and he probably is pretty much the new face of the NBA once LeBron retires. But you had to punish the kid a little bit because he was getting a little bit reckless. He was getting a little bit besides himself. But you know what? The kid was living. You know what I mean? And that's how they're living nowadays with these 20-year-olds and everything like this. I say no harm, no foul. You shouldn't try to, discipline him in the fact to where you made him an example because you got guys that are far less superior in the game than Ja making way worse decisions. And the NBA doesn't even pay attention to that. And then you got guys that are foreigners who are over here who can't keep their thingy in their pants, and they're over here having sex with women that might not be of age to have sex with. And you know what? We're over here. Oh, we'll let the investigation tell us what happens. We know the detectives. But if it was a different situation, if it was Ja, would he been suspended until the investigation was over? Possibly. So you know what? The NBA really messed up with this one, and they're gonna have to really try to figure out a way to make sure they really cater to Ja and make up for the bullshit that they put him through. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this league doesn't move correctly without Ja Morant. And last night pretty much proved it. Everybody was excited to see him come back and play. Then when the result happened of him hitting the buzzer beater, everybody went into a frenzy because we know that Ja Morant does push the agenda here in the NBA of the new era of the league. And he is one of the leaders of the new school. So you got to make sure that you take care of these guys. And on another note, it was really pretty pathetic to see Zion Williamson only score 13 points last night. And, this guy was seen to be the next up, the next big thing in the NBA. But you know what? That idea is starting to kind of fizzle out. And I think that New Orleans really does need to look at a trade situation for this kid, man. They have to do it because I think that it's going to be best for both parties. But we'll get to that on another day. But once again, congratulations to John Morant on taking care of his business last night. And you know what? We're excited. I'm excited about what the future holds for this great player right here. All right. So with that, we move forward. And we have ourselves up next, being the CBB Top Games today. We got some pretty good top 25 matchups, starting with this one. The North Carolina Tar Heels going against the Oklahoma Sooners. Good match between two established schools who have just been the creme de la creme in most sports in college basketball, in college sports in general. And you know what? This year, both teams in the top 10, top 11, top 15, whatever, top 25. And it makes sense. You know, you got an Oklahoma team 10-0. They've done a great job of taking care of their business. They had a great recruiting class as well, too. UNC's bringing back a bunch of vets, including Baycott, who's one of the better double-doubles in the nation, and he should be a guy that's considered as a top 10 pick. But, you know, in this stupid NBA, they'll probably go ahead and have him drafted in the second round and then try to have him develop in the G League. Why would you have guys who are already polished develop in a G League? That's just stupid to me, man, at the end of the day. So, you know, that's something that they have to fix on their own. But you got an Oklahoma team that is coming in here undefeated. They got a target on their back. They're at home. This is going to be a great game. You know, the old Big 12 ACC challenge and everything like that. This is fun. You got Baylor playing over at Duke tonight as well, too. So you got some really fun games going on between these power conferences tonight. And, you know, top 25 game. You have North Carolina trying to go ahead and mend some things real quick. They've lost their last two in a row, but they were really good. They were against some of the best teams in the nation, but they did give up 87 points in each game, and that's kind of unfamiliar of this team as well, too, because they're playing pretty good defense this year. So, you know, you look at it, UConn won that game by 11, and then Kentucky wins that game by 4. North Carolina is trying to get back on the good foot. Now, Oklahoma doesn't have the same type of scheduling going on, but they did get a good win over Arkansas. They beat USC as well, too, and they beat Providence. But they've been beaten up on some squares as well, too. But that was in their last 5. When I look at their schedule, though, I really don't see much of what they beat, but they still do have a good team. And I think that this is going to be an over bet on North Carolina tonight. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Oklahoma with the plus 3.5 in this spot. I think that this does work out in the right regard. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I'm taking Oklahoma, number 7, 10-0, to cover the spread at least. I don't know if they win the game, but I think that they do cover the spread tonight in this highly intense matchup against a blue blood in North Carolina. All right, let's move forward and let's get into our next game, which is going to be the Bama and Zona game. And this is a showcase situation in Phoenix tonight with Alabama and Arizona. So pretty much you have Alabama trying to get back into some type of rhythm. They're 6-4 right now. You got a number 4 Arizona team 8-1, and you got a 7.5 point spread. The over under of 155.5 going on in this game as well too. Arizona's been playing some great basketball. They were the number 1 team in the nation for a moment there, and they did just and as usual, once they give you that number 1 ranking, that's when the target comes onto your back. They wound up losing to the number 3 team in the nation in Purdue. Purdue beat them by 8. And, you know, Edney was really tough that day, but they got a good win over Wisconsin, who they beat by 25. Also got a good win over Michigan State, who they beat by 6. They beat Duke at Cameron Indoor as well, too. So this team is playing really good basketball. And they're geared up, but they're coming fresh off of a loss as well, too. Alabama is not the same team that they were last year when they started out and really were cooking teams and things like that. They have Brandon Miller, one of the best players in the nation, who wound up going number 2. They've lost their last 4 out of 6 games as well, too, after starting the season 4-0. But when you look at the losses, their 4 losses are to Ohio State, to Clemson, and their last 2 losses were to 2 top 10 teams in Purdue and Creighton. And the Creighton game, they barely lost. So, they're coming into this one really confident. They are a dangerous team tonight. But the way Arizona is taking care of their business against teams this year, I really feel like this is a late game. It's kind of out of the Crimson Tide's element, is in a sense. And I truly do feel that what happens here is that you have an Arizona team that winds up having a really, 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 really good game tonight. I think that they covered the 7.5 tonight against a team that's playing somewhat great basketball, but they are, you know, going through the motions right now, and see games like this really build who you exactly are going to be moving forward. So pretty much with that, I'm going to go ahead and take Arizona tonight. I don't really feel like dealing with the team that's in a moody situation like this one. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move from there. All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. When I get back, we're going to go ahead and jump into the day of reckoning, and then we're going to jump into some NBA. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Cappers.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, here we are back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. So let's go ahead and jump into some boxing news. And we have this here. We have the Day of Reckoning. Man, I really don't like that title, but it's an awesome event. This is going to be the main portion of the card. Joshua is going to be the headliner for the card, but Wilder will be the co-main event. And you know what? This is the way that you build fights up in the heavyweight division, is where you have all heavyweight cards. You know what I mean? Let's just go ahead and cut out the little guys, because we're just giving them some shine here. We got the light heavyweight champion fighting in Dimitri Bivol. We also have this Opie kid fighting the cruiserweight ring title champion and everything like that, who seems to be a pretty good fighter as well too. And this is going to be fun. You got my man Frank Sanchez, my client. He's going to be fighting here as well too, in a really, really tough fight. But I think Frank's going to be really good in his spot. You also have Big Baby coming back, going against Daniel Dubois. What a matchup with that one. That's a great matchup right there. And I think that, this gives Big Baby an opportunity to fight on the biggest stage to prove if he even is worthy of being here. You know what I mean? 5 years ago, before he got popped, a lot of people believed in Big Baby. You know what I mean? Big Baby was on HBO and stuff, man. They had a nice little promotional tool going with the guy. Big fella who can throw a whole lot of punches. So I'm looking forward to that fight too. I don't care what you guys think. At the end of the day, I'm going to be very dead honest with you guys. You guys are going to get pissed off about this as well too. Your favorites are on that juice as well too. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just you got to have good doctors and good people behind you that make sure that things go smoothly at the end of the day. Y'all got to understand how this business really works, dude. And to be at the top, you're not going to have some natural regimen that gets you there. You know what I mean? So, we can sit here and piss and moan all we want to, but at the end of the day, this is what pushes the sport. I'm not saying that everybody's on juice and things like that, but to be at the top, you do extracurricular stuff. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people are going to get pissed off about this because the fucking truth hurts. That's what goes down. And that's what's wrong with boxing nowadays, that people don't accept the truth enough. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But I do expect a great card coming from this. There's a lot of fun going on. There's a lot of face-offs going on and everything like that. And you would wish that you could get these fights over in America and everything like that. But you know what? At this point in time, you don't have a U.S. heavyweight champion. The heavyweight division is not in the hands of U.S. promoters at this point. So you kind of got to deal with this kind of, meat market of a card where you put all these guys together to see, who's worthy enough to really get a title shot, or who's worthy enough to really be able to be called the face of the heavyweight division. Or you could just be a part of a guy's big guy's big party that he has with a bunch of heavyweights fighting in a ring. So it is what it is. It's a great idea. It's a great card, but we know that this is just a rich man's event. You know what I mean? And that's all it is. This is almost like a boxing exhibition because there's no titles on the line in this situation as well, too. So pretty much with that, that's a wrap on the Day of Reckoning. We'll talk a little bit more about it as we move forward this week. Hopefully, we'll make sure that there's no upsets, because if there's upsets, then it's going to be a lot of situations where we say to ourselves, damn, man, these guys should have fought each other earlier. So, hey, it is what it is. But from what I'm hearing right now is the next fight should be Joshua and Wilder. But you know what? I'll just wait till we get a press conference with that situation. You know what I mean? I've heard that story about 4 or 5 times already. So we move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about the state of the Lakers. The Lakers losers of their last 3 out of 4 games as well, too. The Lakers, they got to get it together, man. Really. The Lakers were playing really lazy defense the other night. I didn't like any bit of that. Even though they didn't give up a lot of points the other night, they were just doing stupid stuff on the defensive end last night. So they got to clean that up. You got to get more from Hayes and Wood as well, too. And at some point, Gabe Vincent has to come play. You know what I mean? I guess he's dealing with the Hill situation, something of that nature. But if he wasn't healthy, then why would you sign him? Why would you waste your time with that if he's not healthy? Dennis Schroeder was healthy. Dennis Schroeder was a key impact to you getting to the conference finals last year. And he's in Toronto keeping them somewhat decent, while Gabe Vincent is LeBron's head hot fiver. This is pissing me off, man. Dude, figure it out, because it seems like it's Kendrick Bullock. It's Kendrick all over again. Kendrick Bullock, put whatever his last name was. The guy was good, but he came to us, and all of a sudden he was hurt. And then when he would play, he didn't do much. And so now we're sitting here with another situation very similar to that. So, the Lakers got to figure it out, man. You can't be over here overspending on free agents that aren't healthy. You know what I mean? Because if he had the heel injury, if the Lakers were where he had a heel injury, they probably wouldn't have signed him. And I think he had that heel injury since he played with Miami, where he was just playing tough and playing hurt so he can get to the next contract. Now we're sitting here stuck with the guy who's just another guy on the bench. But we do need to get more from the rookies. Hood Schifino is supposed to be this really good player. Maxwell Lewis is supposed to be this really good player. They're playing okay. And then you have, the Max Christie situation. Max Christie's back and forth, in and out, what the situation is with him. So, it's just things that have to be better with the Lakers. Austin Reeves has been Jim off the bench. Rue's been really good off the bench as well, too. Taurean Prince is really starting to get into his own, his own little body of work. the things that you expected from Malik Beasley, Torian Prince is doing, and D'Angelo Russell, you just need to be better because you're supposed to be the third man in the big three. And really, you should be getting 20 to 25 points a night because you get the best looks out of all three of them. And he's still not able to do that. And then you got LeBron doing a whole lot, you know what I mean? And sometimes him doing a whole lot really does kind of hinder what the Lakers can be moving forward. And then AD, AD's been playing great basketball, but you want more. It's always like that. But tonight, when I look at this game, this is a game that's a good bounce back for the Lakers. They're back on the road. They got 3 straight on the road as well, too, before they come back to LA and host the Celtics at home. So, they got a lot of good things going in their direction, but they got to be really good tonight. I think that they really got to step their game up against the Chicago team that's going to really be into this one. They're going to really try to beat the Lakers tonight because that's how it is, man. You got a team, they just came off of beating Philly by 4. They're confident. They've lost 3 out of 5, but they're confident. The Lakers are in the same situation. They've lost their last 3 out of 4, really losing – they're winning. Yeah, they've lost their last 3 out of 5 to be honest with you. And they got a good win. The in-season tournament is over. The Lakers got to retool themselves and get back into it because now they somewhat got a target on their back because they didn't win the finals, but they won the in-season tournament and they got the 500 racks. And so teams know that how good they are and they can measure themselves against the Lakers right now. So tonight, the way that I see this one setting up, I like the under tonight with the Lakers. I think the Lakers are going to adjust on their defensive end, and that the Bulls don't score that many points. And, it's kind of a dress rehearsal in the sense for the Bulls because they are advertising players to be traded, and the Lakers seem to be very, very adamant on making a deal with the Bulls for some of these players that are on their roster. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but I do expect a fun game tonight in the Windy City. We move forward. Let's go ahead and talk about our NBA Wednesday night games. And up first, we got the Florida rivalry. We got Orlando going against Miami. We got Disney going against the club scene. Like Steve Kerr says, it just sounds like a Miami nightclub. You know what I mean? That was the pussiest shit I've heard in a while. You know what I mean? Come on, Steve. You wasn't in no damn Miami nightclubs. I know you swore you hung out with Rodman or whatever, but I already know, man, how it works. Rodman was not hanging out with your square ass like that, man. Rodman would walk into the club with y'all lose Rodman, you back to the hotel by midnight, bro. Cut it out. Cut it out. Rodman didn't have a babysitter. Cut it out. You know what I mean? But it's all good. But when you break down the game tonight, you got 2 teams that are very, very familiar with each other. And, you can't say enough about Orlando and the way that they've been playing, but they struggled a little bit here in their last few games. But they're at home somewhere where they've been much better at. And you know what? They've lost their last 3 out of 5, including 2 in a row to Boston in Boston. So, that's something that, you can go ahead and kind of discount a little bit. Then you have this Heat team. They've lost the last 2 out of 3, but they've actually won their last 3 out of 5. So, they're trying to bounce back, but they did have a tough loss the other night against Minnesota. So, when you look at this situation, you have 2 teams that are averaging the same amount of points a game at 113 points. They're almost very similar in field goal percentage as well, too. And Miami's the best 3-point percentage team in the league, shooting just up under 40%, and they've made 347 threes. So that's their bread and butter right there. And Miami doesn't turn over the ball as much as Orlando does either. So tonight, I know Miami is the road team, but I still don't care because I think that tonight they step it up after having a very significant loss, but a game they could have won. And I'm going to go ahead and take them tonight with the plus 175 money line to go ahead and get the big upset here in Orlando tonight. So with that, we move forward. Let's go ahead and jump into our next game, which is going to be the 76ers and the Timberwolves. The 76ers actually, yes, that's going to be the Wolves and the 76ers. Wolves rocking the best record in the NBA right now, 20-5. And then you have the 76ers who are 18-8. kind of cruising along there in their portion, but they are behind the Boston Celtics at this point. Timberwolves just balling out of control. They've won their last 4 out of 5 here. They've been playing great in the month of December as well, too, only with one loss. They're 6-1 at this point. Then you have the 76ers, who they had played very good this month as well, too. They're 6-2. So this is a very good matchup, probably the game of the night as well. Minnesota, respectively, 3.5-point dog tonight. So, you have a very fun game going here. 225.5 on the spread. So you have a lot of good motions going on. So all in all, teams losing 4 out of 5, teams winning 4 out of 5. Philly's a scorer. Philly's averaging 122 points a game, scoring wise. You know what I mean? And they're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league as well, too. So, I love me some Ant Edwards. Joel Embiid is a rare piece, and this is going to be one of our really fun games tonight. And the fun part about it is it's going to be an NBA TV feature as well, since they're not going to be on ESPN and things like that, because ESPN doesn't look like they're showing any NBA tonight. So they must have something else going on the network tonight. So pretty much, I think they got the college basketball going tonight. So that's why we don't get any ESPN NBA games. But NBA TV takes over tonight for the broadcast of the big game. So that's how it goes. But all in all, we move forward. I'm going to go ahead and say this tonight. I'm going to take the plus 3.5 on the Wolves. Keep on cruising, dog. You got to ride that hot hand. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. Now we got the battle of the boroughs. We got Manhattan going against Brooklyn. And it's only the bridge away, but actually, Midtown Manhattan, you got to go all the way down to downtown. Then you jump on that bridge. Then you got to go through Bedford-Stuyvesant. You got to go through Bed-Stuy real quick, get down the street, hook a left, and now you got Barclays. That's how it goes, baby. So, get on that good train, get in that good cab, whatever you got to do. This is going to be the biggest event in the city tonight, because you got a Knicks team that's 15-11. You got a Nets team that's 13-13. Both are pursuing the playoffs as well, too. Nets are plus 1.5, and then you have an over under 233.5 for the game as well, too. Knicks coming fresh off a West Coast trip. Nets coming fresh off of a West Coast trip. So they both been in the same areas somewhat. So this should be a lot of fun between these two teams tonight. So pretty much when I look at the way that this one's setting up, you have a Knicks team. As I said before, they did pretty decent on their 4-game road trip where they went 2-2. Actually, it went 2-2, and they've actually went ahead and won 4 out of their 4-4 this month. But that 2-2 on the road was pretty good, because they got good wins in Phoenix and they got good wins against the Lakers. Even though they had a back-to-back situation with the Lakers and the Clippers absolutely annihilated them on Saturday. The Knicks did the right thing. They skipped out on the club on Saturday night. They skipped out on the big meal Sunday night, and they was hungry when they played the Lakers, and they went ahead and beat them by 5. And you know what? Jalen Brunson was just really cold, man. He couldn't miss a shot, and he got 50 points in the game against the Phoenix Suns. So he's feeling himself coming into this one against the Nets. Okay, so the Nets come into this one, man. The Nets, they started off the month great. They won their first 3 games. Now they've lost their last 4 out of 5. They were on the same type of West Coast trip too as well, and they went, and that's how they lost 4 out of 5, because they won against Phoenix, and then everybody else they just couldn't find it. But it was funny because most of the teams the Knicks played, they played as well too. So this will be a lot of fun, but you know what? You got 2 teams that are 4-4 going into this game tonight. They've had some struggles as well too, but not as much as the Nets have been struggling. But I think when it comes down to it, this game is a really good game to just watch the scoreboard. And I'm going to take the over in this spot. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, and we just got done talking about the Clippers, and here we are. Let's go ahead and jump into the Clippers versus the Mavs. The Mavs coming in here ready to slow down the Clippers, who have absolutely crushed it since they've got their mojo together, and pretty much making sure that they got everybody intact around James Harden, who's absolutely found his way of life again. They've won 8 in a row this month, and they are playing great basketball. After having a really middling November, they have found themselves now 16-10. Now they're playing against Dallas and Oklahoma City here on back-to-backs. They'll be back in LA this weekend to play Boston, and then they play Charlotte on Tuesday night as well. And then they finish up the year against Memphis. So you have a team that is really feeling themselves. They're playing great basketball right now. And, it's really, really a good thing to see because you knew it was coming. That's the whole thing. If you know basketball and you know how these 4 guys are, they were going to be great together. And you know what? Now the league's on notice because they gave the league 2 weeks to try to figure out how they could beat them. Now they're in place to actually take the West. So you have a Mavericks team that won 4 in a row. Now they've lost their last 2 out of 3. They're looking to bounce back after absolutely getting cooked by Denver on Monday night, losing 130-104. So this game tonight against the Clippers, this is a good bounce back situation for them because they're at home. They're going against a Clippers team that's red hot, and all they see is green right now. But, they can still get kind of tripped up by this Dallas team that is playing great basketball, but it's a tough game tonight because I know Kyrie won't be there because he's still nursing the heel and everything like that. And if he is there, he's going to be a little, kind of a little shaky, but Luka might, really, really get a little bit besides himself. So that's why it's like this game is one of these games where you say to yourself, don't take a winner. We're just going to go ahead and take the under in this spot. I think defense is going to be at a premium tonight because you got a team that's won 8 in a row, and then you have a team that's lost the last 2 out of 3, and they've been giving up a lot of points in these games as well too. So they want to try to figure out how to make defense first and then have complementary offense tonight, and that's how I'm feeling tonight in this game. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move forward from there. All right. We have the Kings and the Celtics. The Celtics coming to this one 20-6. The Kings 16-9. 2.5 point favorites to the Kings tonight. Over under 237.5. This game, Celtics fresh off of a bad loss last night. They wound up blowing a big lead last night to the Warriors as well too. So that's something that is still sitting pretty on their head as well too. So they had that situation occur last night. They had won 5 in a row going into that game, and they are 6-2 for the month as well. And they got good wins against Orlando and Cleveland in back-to-back situations. So that's kind of set them up with a confidence that they could do their thing. Now they're on a 4-game road trip now with 1 loss. They got Sacramento tonight. They got the Clippers and the Lakers over the weekend. So they're doing the California, what would we say, the California superfecta. You know what I mean? You got the Dallas 2-step, the Dallas 3-step, the Dallas trifecta. And I call this, if you got to play all 4 California teams, you call it the LA, you call it the Cali superfecta. That's what the Celtics are on, and the Celtics are trying to get back right. They are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now, and they're trying to keep it that way because last year, slipping up at the end, Milwaukee caught them, but still, they were able to still do what they did. But you know what? They want to have the home court advantage throughout the playoffs. We all know this. So pretty much with this game tonight, I think that you have a Kings team that is very ready to always pull off an upset. They've won 3 in a row. They've actually also have went 6-2 this month as well too. And you know what? Their losses were pretty significant, but their wins have been pretty good as well. So they're looking to get right where they need to be against Boston. This is a proving point for them. This is a measurement game for the Sacramento Kings tonight. And I think that Boston, after last night, blowing that game against the Warriors, they're going to play way too hard tonight, and they're going to figure it, and they might be a little exhausted as well, too. That's the whole thing. That's why it's hard to trust them tonight against this Sacramento team, because Sacramento's are going to be ready to run and run and run some more. And, after seeing last night that this team blew such a big lead, this team dropped 40 points in the first quarter and wound up losing the game last night. So they really do need to check themselves a bit. But I think that they overplayed a bit last night because they were playing the Warriors and they got this revenge thing on their mind. So I think they're going to be a little tired as they go into the Sacramento game tonight, and they are looking for a little bit of a breather, which they will get tomorrow before they play the Clippers. So I think when it's all said and done, we take the minus 135 on the Kings. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. And that's going to be a wrap on today's NBA games that I have for you. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and talk those tickets, and you guys will go ahead and see exactly where everybody lines up at and see where the big value's at as well, too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the Primetime Angles, the premier sports betting show. Let's go ahead and jump into talking tickets. All right, so we're talking tickets. We have ourselves a very, very good group tonight. Up first, we got the Primetime PK6. Primetime PK6, where are we going with this? Primetime PK6, I'm going to go ahead and take this ticket right here. This is actually going to be a 65-1 ticket, so you guys – I'll fix that for you so you guys know exactly where we're going with this one. But we got Baylor plus 140. We got Oklahoma plus 3.5. We got the plus 14 with IPFW. We also have the minus 9.5 with UC Santa Barbara. And then we have Seattle U tonight with the minus 130. And then we have the nightcap. This game starts at 8 a.m. So all my East Coasters, this game is going to be late tonight. So you do have something to stay up for. So pretty much we're going to go ahead and take this one with the minus 7.5. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But this is going to be a great, great, great game. And this should be a great, great card as well, too. All right. Let's move forward to the super high five, 32-1 tonight. Heat plus 175. And as you guys know, we did hit our underdog last night as well, too. We've been doing pretty good when it comes to the underdog. So don't ever sleep on the dogs of the day that I give out to the public. So pretty much there we are with another one, plus 175 on the Heat tonight as the road team. We got the plus 3.5 with the Wolves tonight just to get us a cover. That's all we need, but hopefully they can win the game as well too. I like the way that this team is set up. I told you all that when I did my preview before we even started the season. So, you're welcome. We have the over 232.5 with the Knicks and the Nets, and then we have the under 236.5 with the Clippers and the Mavs, and then we wrap it up with the minus 135 on the Kings tonight, and this is going to give us a 32-1 ticket. All right. So with that, that's going to be a wrap on Talking Tickets. I want to thank you guys very much for your patience in coming in and watching the show today. I saw some eyeballs was on the show today. I think that we are starting to make some good headway now because people are starting to realize that, Pop DiBiase got some real advice. Pop DiBiase got some real winners. Pop DiBiase really got a real grasp on what he's talking about. So that's good. That's good that you guys are recognizing this now as well. But make sure you keep retweeting. Make sure you keep sharing. You spread the word. Let's get this thing moving, okay? So as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And as the holidays keep going, I want to go ahead and wish you guys once again happy holidays. Make sure that you're having fun with it as well, too. Smile. Be happy that you got your family that's there with you as well, too. Even if they mad, annoying, just know that they love you. So at the end of the day, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back to you tomorrow. We possibly will have Jeff Dawson on here with us as well, too. So you guys stay tuned. And this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. And I'm your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.